Humanity has always been obsessed with a singular, powerful concept: vitality. That invisible energy that separates the living from the inanimate, the vibrant from the weary. We have built empires on it, sought elixirs to preserve it, and woven elaborate mythologies to explain its source. From the fountain of youth to the philosopher's stone, the quest for longevity is the story of our species. But what if this vital force wasn't infinite? What if, for half of the population, life was measured out in a finite, quantifiable supply? Welcome to Mythic Mundi. Today we journey into a fascinating and delicate corner of cultural folklore, a belief that existed in various forms across the globe, including a specific iteration within historical Thai culture. It's the idea that a man is born with a limited number of ejaculations, a finite supply of life essence, and that once this supply is depleted, his physical vitality wanes, his body decays, and his life itself is shortened.
This concept may sound unfamiliar, perhaps even strange to modern ears. Yet it is a powerful lens through which we can understand pre-modern anxieties about health, mortality, and the profound mystery of procreation. To be clear, we are not exploring this topic as a medical or biological discussion. This is a journey into cultural history, into the story people told themselves to make sense of the human body. The core of this belief wasn't just a biological premise, it was a moral one. The admonition tied to it was simple: moderation. The belief functioned as a societal guideline, suggesting that this precious resource should be conserved, spent wisely, and that excess would lead to ruin. Where does such an idea originate? To understand it, we must first step back from our modern, clinical understanding of the human body and enter a world where metaphor and reality were deeply intertwined. In many traditional systems of thought, the body was not a machine of regenerating cells, it was a microcosm of the universe, governed by balance, elements, and spiritual energies. In traditional Thai perspectives, as in many adjacent cultures, health was predicated on the harmony of elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. Sickness was a state of imbalance. In this framework, bodily fluids were often seen as carriers of essence. Semen, by its very nature, was visually linked to creation. It held the observable, almost magical power to create new life. It was logical in this pre-scientific context to deduce that this fluid must be incredibly potent, a concentration of the life force itself. If it contained the essence of life, then its loss must be, in some small way, a loss of life, a small death. This wasn't merely a folk superstition, it often intersected with spiritual and religious philosophies. In many Buddhist traditions, for example, the concept of moderation, Majjhima Patipada, or the middle path, is central. Desire, or tanha, is seen as a root of suffering. The control of carnal desires is a pathway to clarity and spiritual advancement. While Buddhist doctrine itself may not have explicitly detailed this finite supply theory, the cultural atmosphere it fostered, one prioritizing non-attachment, moderation, and the conservation of energy for spiritual rather than purely physical pursuits, created fertile ground for such a belief to take root and seem logical. Thus, the belief became a powerful narrative tool. It was a story told to young men that framed self-control not just as a virtue, but as a matter of self-preservation. It wasn't about right or wrong in an abstract sense. It was about life and death. This framing transforms the act of moderation from a simple suggestion into an urgent warning. It recasts youthful energy not as an infinite well, but as a burning candle. Each act of release, the story goes, lowers the flame, consumes the wax, and while the light may be bright, it comes at the cost of the candle's length. The goal, therefore, was to make the candle last. We can see how this idea would be compelling. It offers an explanation for aging, sickness, and the loss of vigor that inevitably comes with time. It wasn't random decay, it was a consequence of one's own actions. It gave individuals a sense of control, albeit a fear-based one, over their own destiny. If you felt tired, if you felt weak, this belief provided a simple, tangible scapegoat. You were being careless with your essence. This anxiety isn't arbitrary. In a world without modern medicine, without antibiotics, or a germ theory of disease, life was fragile. Any loss of vitality was terrifying. Preserving one's energy was a primary health directive. It was easy to observe that after sickness or in old age, sexual potency often diminished. The folk logic then worked in reverse. If old age caused diminished potency, perhaps diminished potency through waste caused old age. It's a classic example of confusing correlation with causation, a pattern we see in mythology worldwide. But as we peel back the layers of this specific Thai cultural belief, we find something even more fascinating. This idea is not an isolated anomaly. It is, in fact, a variation of a theme that has echoed in the halls of civilizations thousands of miles and thousands of years apart. From the inner chambers of Taoist monks in ancient China to the anxious studies of Victorian doctors in London, the fear of losing one's essence is a surprisingly universal human story. The Thai belief is one unique, localized expression of a global human anxiety. In the next part of our exploration, we will travel across continents to discover the remarkable parallels to this belief. We will see how different cultures, using different languages, all arrived at a similar, startling conclusion about the nature of male vitality.
In Part 1, we examined a specific historical belief from Thailand, the idea of a finite life essence in men linked directly to semen, and the accompanying moral of moderation. Now we widen our lens to discover that this concept is not an island. It is, instead, a single thread in a vast global tapestry of belief systems, all centered on the conservation of reproductive energy. Let us journey first to ancient China, where we find perhaps the most complex and philosophically rich parallel. In Taoist philosophy, a core concept is Jing, which translates roughly to essence. Jing is considered one of the three treasures, San Bao, along with Qi, vital energy, and Shen, spirit or mind. Jing is the most physical of the three, the foundational substance of the body, the root of our life. It is the material basis for Qi, which in turn is the basis for Shen. To Taoists, Jing was stored in the kidneys and was believed to be inherited from one's parents. You were born with a finite amount of this prenatal Jing. Sound familiar? This prenatal Jing was like a trust fund of vitality. It was to be guarded, protected, and conserved. Excessive loss of Jing through stress, overwork, and most significantly, excessive ejaculation, was seen as draining this fundamental life account, leading to premature aging, sickness, and a weakening of the spirit. Taoist alchemical and medicinal texts are filled with detailed practices, many of which are now part of Qigong and Tai Chi,
designed specifically to conserve and transform Ying. The goal wasn't just to avoid losing it, but to refine it, turning it inward and upward to nourish the Qi, and refined, turning it inward and upward to nourish the Qi, and profound spiritual power. In this system, the loss of essence was not just a physical detriment, it was a spiritual catastrophe, a leak in the very vessel of one's consciousness. Now, let us travel westward to the Indian subcontinent and the ancient traditions of Hinduism and Ayurvedic medicine. Here we encounter the concept of Ojas and Bindu. Ojas is the subtle, quintessential energy that governs vitality, immunity, and radiance. It is the finest product of digestion and metabolism, the very sap of the life force. Bindu, the vital drop, is often directly correlated with semen, seen as a physical manifestation of this powerful Ojas. In the yogic and Ayurvedic traditions, the preservation of Bindu was paramount. The term brahmacharya, often translated simply as celibacy, is, in its deeper context, about the stewardship of vital energy. It was believed that it took a significant amount of the body's energy and resources to create a single drop of this potent fluid. To waste it was to waste the body's most refined fuel. This belief system held that a person who conserved their Bindu would develop immense physical strength, a powerful memory, a radiant aura, and profound spiritual power. The leaking of this energy, conversely, was said to lead to a dull mind, physical weakness, and a shortened life. Again, we see the same formula. Vital essence is finite and precious. Conservation equals power and longevity. Loss equals decay and weakness. The cultural echoes are undeniable. The Thai belief, the Chinese concept of Ying, and the Indian concept of Bindu are all branches from the same root anxiety. The visible, life-creating power of semen must be a finite, sacred substance. But this idea is not confined to the mystical East. We find a stark, almost pathological version of this very same fear in the heart of the 19th century Western world. During the Victorian-era, a medical panic swept through Europe and America. It was not called losing Ying or depleting Ojas. It was given a clinical, terrifying name: Spermatorrhea. Victorian-era physicians, operating with a rudimentary understanding of biology, became convinced that the involuntary loss of semen, or excessive voluntary loss, particularly through masturbation, was the root cause of a horrifying array of ailments. This pseudoscientific belief, promoted by prominent medical figures of the time, was a medicalization of the same ancient folk fear. Books and pamphlets from the era paint a grim picture. The loss of vital fluid was blamed for everything: blindness, fatigue, indigestion, acne, memory loss, muscular weakness, and most terrifyingly, insanity. The spermatic economy became a popular concept, framing the body as a closed system where any expenditure of semen was a direct debit from one's overall health account. This belief created a culture of intense fear and anxiety. It fueled a booming industry of quack devices designed to prevent loss, and doctors prescribed treatments ranging from cold baths to restrictive diets, all to conserve the essence. What we're seeing is a universal phenomenon. Whether wrapped in the spiritual philosophy of Taoism, the metabolic science of Ayurveda, or the fear-based pseudo-medicine of the Victorians, the core concept remains identical to the Thai folk belief we began with. So why? Why did so many disconnected cultures across so many different eras independently develop the same fundamental idea? The answer lies in a shared human observation. The act of reproduction is visibly taxing. It involves a potent, tangible substance. In a world without a scientific explanation for cellular regeneration, it was the most logical deduction. Life creates life. Therefore, the substance of creation must be the substance of life itself. This belief provided a framework for self-control, a potent metaphor for moderation. It served as a simple, powerful story to explain the unexplainable. Why some people were vibrant and others were sick, why youth faded, and why death was inevitable. It was an attempt to gain control over mortality by controlling the one bodily function most clearly linked to the creation of new life. These historical and cultural beliefs, from Thailand to China, India to England, are not correct or incorrect in a scientific sense. They are profound human artifacts. They are maps of the human psyche, revealing our deepest anxieties and our most profound hopes, the fear of death and the desire to live forever. But our journey is not complete. We have explored the what and where of this belief. Now we must turn to the now. How does this ancient cross-cultural narrative stand in the light of modern biology? And what, if any, is the kernel of truth hidden in this enduring myth? In the final part of our journey, we step out of the atmospheric world of folklore and into the clear light of modern science. We have traced the belief in a finite vital essence from its expression in Thai culture to its deep parallels in Taoist, Ayurvedic, and Victorian thought. For millennia, this idea provided a compelling, if fear-based, reason for moderation. But what does biology have to say? Is the body a finite account of vitality, or is it a factory in constant production? Let's begin with the central premise, the idea that semen is a limited, finite resource. From a modern biological perspective, this is definitively incorrect. The human body is not a sealed vault. It is a dynamic, regenerative system. Semen is not a substance that is stored up from birth. It is continuously produced by the male reproductive system. The testes are constantly generating sperm cells, a process called spermatogenesis. Other glands, like the seminal vesicles and the prostate, are constantly producing the fluids that mix with sperm to create semen. The body, in essence, operates on a supply and demand model. It is a factory, not a warehouse. Far from using up a finite resource, the act of ejaculation simply signals the body to, well, make more. It is a natural biological function designed for continuation. The supply is, for all intents and purposes in a healthy individual, limitless over a lifetime. So the mechanism of the myth, the finite supply, is verifiably false. What about the consequence? The idea that its loss leads to physical decay, weakness, and a shortened life. Here, the scientific perspective is not just neutral, it often points in the exact opposite direction. Modern medical research has explored the health benefits of regular ejaculation rather than its dangers. Several studies, for instance, have suggested a correlation between a higher frequency of ejaculation and a lower risk of prostate cancer, one of the most common cancers in men. The theory is that this flushing of the prostate ducts may help clear out potential carcinogens or prevent the buildup of substances that could lead to inflammation. Furthermore, the active release has well-documented physiological and psychological benefits. It is a powerful stress reliever, triggering the release of endorphins and oxytocin, which are hormones associated with well-being, pleasure, and social bonding. It is also a common and effective sleep aid, helping to regulate sleep cycles. From this modern viewpoint, the Victorian Spermatorrhea panic was not only wrong, it was likely harmful, creating immense psychological stress, which, ironically, does have severe negative health consequences. So, is the ancient belief completely wrong? Is it just a myth in the modern sense of the word, a falsehood to be dismissed? Perhaps not. To dismiss it entirely is to miss the deeper wisdom buried within the flawed premise. The kernel of truth in this global belief system is not the biology, but the philosophy. The kernel of truth is the concept of moderation. While the reason for moderation was a mythological construction, the practice of moderation, the middle path, is a cornerstone of healthy living recognized by both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. Human beings are creatures of habit, and we can become dependent on any potent source of pleasure or relief. While the act itself is not draining vitality in a mystical sense, an obsessive or compulsive focus on any single activity to the detriment of one's work, relationships, and mental health is a form of imbalance. The ancient belief, in its own way, was a cultural safeguard against excess. It used the most powerful story it had, the fear of death, to encourage a balanced life. It was a pre-scientific attempt to articulate a simple psychological truth, that a life lived in service of a single impulse rather than a balance of pursuits is a diminished one. So how do we reconcile these two worlds, the myth and the science? We can view the Thai belief and its global counterparts not as a failed biology lesson, but as a successful piece of cultural poetry. It's a metaphor for energy management. It reminds us that our vitality, our time, our focus, our mental energy is finite. While the body can produce more semen, it cannot produce more time. This ancient story was never really about the fluid itself. It was about what the fluid represented: life, power, creation, and potential. The warning to not waste it can be reinterpreted for our modern age. It's not a warning against a physical act, but a call to live a life of purpose. Don't waste your life force, your energy, your talent, your passion on things that do not bring you or the world value. Today on Mythic Mundi, we have traveled from a single piece of Thai folklore to the heart of a global human anxiety. We have seen how the fear of death and the mystery of life created a powerful, enduring myth about a finite supply. We then saw how modern science provides a different, more liberating answer, reframing the body as a system of regeneration, not depletion. In the end, the myth and the science converge on a single point of wisdom, albeit from different paths. The science frees us from the fear of the physical act. The myth reminds us of the value of the philosophical one, to live with balance, intention, and moderation. The stories we tell about our bodies are, in the end, stories about our lives. What fascinating cultural belief, myth, or legend do you want us to explore next? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into our Mythic Mundi, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps our channel continue to explore the stories that make us human.